morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer, your host, and we're in Layton County, west of Dighton. We're on the Ehmke Seed Farm. And today we're going to be talking with Vance and Louise and Layton and Tanner, the boys that have come back to the farm. And we're going to be talking about their family operation, which is mainly wheat, triticale, row crops, and fallow. And I think you're going to enjoy this program, folks, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer, your host, and we're sitting on the front porch of the office of the Vance and Louise Ehmke Seed Farm here in Layton County, just west of Dighton on Eagle Road, and which is an old wheat variety from a number of years ago.
Right.
So, tell us a little bit, Vance, Louise, kind of the history of the farm. I know this is family farm, been in the business for a long time. So kind of give us a history.
Well, back in 1885, the German immigrants, homesteaded out here. The Ehmkes came over here from Germany, and they wound up in Layton County in 1885. This is part of the original farmstead that was owned by my great-great-grandparents. And this is kind of interesting. They came over here and homesteaded in 1885, and they spoke German up until, in World War I. And one of the neighbors came over and said, we're at war with Germany. It would probably be a real good idea if you started speaking English. And from that day on, it was English only. Over the years, we have evolved into the farm that we have now. Here in western Kansas, or Layton County, we're predominantly a dry land cropping system. We got a little bit of irrigation, but it's mainly dry land wheat. We also grow rye and triticale and grain sorghum, which is a very drought hardy and well adapted crop. In addition, Louise and I have had another little crop, and that's 4 kids. And,
4 kids. 3 boys and 1 girl.
Right.
Don't forget Merritt. Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay.
She
Yes.
went to KU.
No, let's not talk about that. Okay.
Okay, Bethany and K-State.
Okay.
Yes,
But
sure.
let me ask you. You've kind of been by yourself for a long, long time, but now you've got a couple boys coming back.
That's right, and that's been the joy of this, and you try to make that work and create your operation large enough and to afford them opportunities to do that, and we're very pleased to bring them on, and they're also going to have their other opportunities as well to develop, but we're going to work it together.
Okay.
And we have this office here, and this is our office.
Right. Yeah.
And this
It's
is-
a grain bin,
and
but
it's
it's
a-
really an office. Okay.
And it's kind of whatever we need it to be when we need it, but most of the time it's our office.
Right. Right. George Washington hasn't slept here, but I have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is Barry Flinchbaugh.
So, tell us what Frank Lloyd Wright said about
Well,
space.
you seem. Well, first of all, congratulations on knowing who Frank Lloyd Wright is. He's one of America's leading architects, and one of his core beliefs was that you should look like your environment, and what better says rural America or farm than a grain bin. And
Right.
so we just plugged right in, and here we are.
And thanks to K-State advising us about insulation, like the K-State engineer saying 6 inches of blown cellulose should do you well, and that's what we got, and we followed their recommendations, and it's worked out really well. There is heating and air conditioning in there. It isn't without the amenities of life.
Right, right. Well, folks, stay with us. I appreciate you letting us be here, but stay with us for other sessions. And you folks at home, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words.
I'm a patient of Kansas Regenerative Medicine in Manhattan. I had stem cell therapy in my hips and my left knee. My wife and I both are patients. We went down there the same day in November. Since then, my hips are feeling a lot better. I can work now most of the day if I want to. And before, if I worked in the morning, I was done in the afternoon, or if I worked in the afternoon, I was sure enough done for the rest of the day.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer. We're on the Vance and Louise Ehmke Farm here in Layton County, just west of Dighton, and we're inside the grain bin. And this isn't your normal grain bin, folks. And with us we have Vance and Louise, like I said a second ago, and they're going to tell us a little bit about how they designed and how they put all the decorations together, because there's some really interesting stuff in here, starting with that flag up there. So one of you take it away.
Okay, anyway, the name of our farm at the FSA office is 34-Star Farms, and we thought, well, we ought to have a 34-star flag. That flag right there was used in 1861, 62, and part of 63.
The significance of 34 star is that Kansas became the 34th star on the flag. So we are the 34th state, and that's why we were excited to get that.
As well.
Yeah, this is a working farm building, and as you can see it is working, got a lot of stuff laying around here, but to kind of pigeonhole all of our scale tickets, Louise was down in Garden City at an antique store and got this antique rail car mail sorter, and we had our scale tickets made to fit the holes. But that was from southeast Kansas, and then the postal people would ride along on the train and sort the mail from one town
for the little towns in southeast Kansas.
Also,
and we collect old scales because it fits our business, and that we're in this seed business, and we kind of collect scales. We collect old,
deer animals.
Everything.
deer animals. Well, we have folks that bring us things too because they know we appreciate our historic items.
I like your pulls.
Well,
I like your pulls on the doors.
And those are all from Lane County or straight into Lane County. One of the things that people really find interesting about our place, I don't know if it's historical, is that we have a signature wall that goes all the way around. And you see, here's
we have a whole bunch of K-State people.
Here's our famous wall. We have, Jim Shroyer's there somewhere, Gary Brzezinski, Dr. Brzezinski, the governor. Here's Governor Sebelius signed here, Adrian Polanski, Rebecca Davis.
The Dean of Agriculture at K-State.
And so we are...
Phil Stallman, noted wheat specialist.
Yeah?
Right up there.
There's Jim.
Here's Jim Shroyer
There's
Jim Shroyer right there. Some people like our ceiling a lot, and it is just tongue and groove. The old car siding in a truck, in the back of old trucks, would be car siding. And tongue and groove.
It's 31 feet up to the peak, and like we said, this will hold 25,000 bushels.
That would be the same as 25 semi-loads, if you visualize a semi-load full of grain, 25 of them. We also used our local art here. We decided this is what we could use for our embellishing the rooms, our windmill fans that we had a local person repaint them for us. And they include, of course, the ever-present bullet
Target
holes.
practice.
Yeah, it's very
for the teenagers.
Very unusual.
The hunters.
Very unusual to find these without bullet holes.
So as we come out here on the balcony,
we have a great view of our state historical site and our playa, which is south here about a mile.
Well, thank you for this tour, and folks, stay with us. We'll be right back on the Ehmke Farm in Lane County. Stay with us.
Kansas Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. We're on the Ehmke Seed Farm in Layton County, just west of Dighton. And we were talking earlier about how many generations that have been on the farm. You're the fourth and the kids will be the fifth, but you're not the only ones that have been here before.
Yeah, we have a lot of archaeologists that over the years have been out here, and it's fun talking to those people. You know, 4 and 5 generations is pretty impressive, but they say, you know, there were 400 to 500 generations here on this farm who call this place their home, you know, before you were even here. You know, we go clear back to Clovis Indians who hunted mammoths, and, you know, we do have a lot of artifacts from the area. These are, this is part of a mammoth tooth that was...
Molar, mammoth molar.
Yeah, that was found here on this very site.
You can see the enamel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's layers of bone and enamel and whatever.
This is just one molar right here.
It's part of one tooth. It's about a third of a tooth.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy moly.
But anyway, these animals were hunted by the Clovis Indians. We also have a number of other artifacts. This is a heel bone from the longhorn bison. They were quite large, and their horns went straight out. They were about 3 foot a piece. And I believe you've got a foot bone from the prehistoric horse. Archaeologists are way more excited about this than they are mammoth teeth or whatever.
I'll bite. Tell me why.
Okay, the horse originated right here in the central high plains of the United States, and then it became extinct here. Fortunately, though, before it became extinct, it migrated out the Bering Strait, and then poetically, the Spanish brought the horse back 400 to 500 years ago.
So it's kind of a reverse
Yes.
Right.
migration as opposed to the people coming this way. Horse went that way.
Right, and of course, these were not domesticated animals. The Clovis Indians and Hell Gap and whatever hunted these things and killed them and ate them. You know, they didn't ride them. Yeah, that came later.
Okay, how did they kill them? I think that's a good lead into what Louise has in her hand.
Well, that's a really good question. You know, if we were Clovis Indians, did you hunt mammoths with a bow and arrow?
No.
Why not, Louise? That's the correct answer. Why didn't you?
Well, it wasn't invented yet.
That's right.
It was later technology.
Yeah, the bow and arrow was actually a pretty new element, and it was invented probably about 1,000 or maybe 1,500 years ago. 10,000 years ago, Jim, if you and I wanted to kill a mammoth, we took spears or atlatls or something like that. This is it's a dart point, and very likely could have been used in killing mammoths. This right here is a Goshen point that was found right here on this site, and it's probably about 11,000 years ago. It's early Paleo-Indian. Some of the earliest people in this part of the world made this beautiful little point.
And I think this is why you call this point, this overlook here, Paleo Point, to look over this playa here.
Right.
So tell us just a little, real quickly, about this playa.
Well, okay, we're on a hilltop right now, and Indians like camping on hilltops or high points, but what makes this a great Indian campsite is somewhere around the high point there's a low point, and coincidentally that is the largest playa lake in the county, and when it's filled with water, there will be about 170 acres of water there. In prehistoric times, when we had a lot different weather, that thing was probably filled with water all the time. In the state of Kansas, we got Clovis points and we've got mammoth teeth. We just need to find those in association with each other, and that would be the first mammoth kill in the state of Kansas, right
All
here.
the states around us have them.
Okay.
But Kansas,
Except
Virginia.
I mean, we could talk hours on this.
Yes.
I know you guys are really into this, but we've got to take a break.
Okay.
And so stay with us. We got other things to talk about. You folks at home, stay with us. We'll be right back after these words.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
Fall is a great time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Root development this fall means more growth with less watering next year. For faster root growth, always use Fertilome Root Stimulator. It is the only stimulator which contains IDA rooting hormone. Use Fertilome tree and shrub food after the plant has been planted for a month.
Save 25% now on Jackson's homegrown hardy perennials. Let Jackson's friendly staff help you select the best plants for your landscape.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back, folks, to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer. With me, we have Vance Ehmke on the Ehmke Seed Farm here in Layton County. Let's talk a little bit about the row crops and small grains as well, because you have wheat, rye, triticale, and of course grain sorghum. So kind of tell me how the rotation fits in.
Okay, we have several rotations here on our farm. There's of course the standard wheat, sorghum, fallow rotation where we use milo in a no-till program. We like
no-till sorghum after the wheat.
Right, and we like grain sorghum as opposed to dryland corn. There's some really good Kansas State University data done here in western Kansas showing that dryland milo's got a 17 bushel an acre yield advantage over dryland corn. I hate to admit this, but we are in this business to make money.
Right.
So that's why we're growing milo. We also have a wheat fallow wheat or triticale fallow triticale rotation, and these things. Sorghum and wheat, rye and triticale are all very drought-hardy crops and very well adapted to this environment, especially in this horrible drought that hopefully we're coming out of.
Let's talk a little bit about why you're looking at triticale.
Oh, we're in the seed business, of course, and triticale is a niche. Wheat, certified seed wheat, is the lion's end of the thing, but triticale is kind of a niche. And one of the things which is really interesting here in western Kansas and in the central and southern plains, because the irrigation water situation is getting worse, we're seeing a lot more attention to triticale, small grain silage, and that type of thing on this irrigated land.
So basically what you're saying is that these wells are not capable of running the whole circle with corn, so they'll split them.
Right, yeah.
Or go completely away from corn.
Yeah, gone are the days when we had 1,600 gallon a minute wells.
Right.
Those wells are now 300 and 400 gallons a minute, and we can't do, the full irrigated corn thing. And so we're looking at Plan B, and one of the things which is real frequently popping up is, small grain silage.
Right, and especially that's important with the dairies in the area, and obviously all the feedlots as well.
Absolutely.
They got to have that forage.
Yeah, these things, don't take nearly the water that corn does, and you can water them in the off season, which is also a very important component of
build the profile.
Right.
Seeding rates on triticale, total fertility program.
Well, K-State's got some pretty good recommendations for dryland western Kansas. Graze out 60 to 75 pounds an acre. On irrigated, commonly 90 to 100. There's a range
seeding
of
rates. Right.
Seeding rates. There's a range of like 80 to 120 pounds an acre. For Versatility is something you certainly don't want to forget, in these really optimum kinds of situations with graze out. You may use twice as much fertility as you would with wheat.
Because you're taking all the crop off.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
so with that, you're also looking, potentially, the producers that are going to grow this are looking at phosphorus and potassium as well.
Yeah, on those soil. And, the best recommendation I can give you is to just go out there and pull soil samples and find out exactly what you need.
Exactly. Vance, I tell you what, I really appreciate it, and don't go away. We still have more to talk about. You folks at home, don't go away either. We'll be right back with more of That's My Farm.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm. I'm Jim Shroyer. We're in Lane County, and in this final segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the new generation, the fifth generation on the Ehmke Seed Farm here. And we've got Layton down at the end there and Tanner right here. And we're kind of moving into the newer generation. So, Louise, Vance, kind of tell us a little bit about how that is moving into the younger kids here.
Well, I think we definitely need this next generation here from the standpoint of both labor and management. This is a family farm, and everybody provides labor and management. Like the roles that Louise and I discovered, I fell into more of a traditional thing out in the field and whatever, and at the same time, Louise has done a lot of work in the office, and she talks with all the bankers and insurance people, and I love her for doing that because I hate those jobs. But anyway.
And besides, she has a better personality than you do. I can attest to that. Okay.
When I met Vance, I have to tell you, I met Vance and I'm a city girl, San Jose, California. And the first line, I couldn't open a door or something in his car. And he said, Louise, you'd be surprised what you can do if your life depends on it.
That's right.
Wow, what a line, And we found out that those, you buck up and do what you have to do, or you find some help to do it.
Let's get Tanner and Layton involved in this operation here. How do you fit in here, Tanner?
I fill a lot of gaps. That's my job description. It's gap filler. But
Okay.
I mean, a lot of driving tractors and then and all that, checking fields and things like that. But our main focus, obviously, with the seed business is we got to work with customers and inventory and things like that. And so I've gravitated towards doing a lot of that during the summer, working with customers and filling their trucks. And it's a lot of personal communication that's going on there.
Personal touch there, huh?
I try,
okay.
Yeah.
And Layton, you just recently got married, and Jennifer's not here with us today, but you planted a lot of the cereals this fall. So how are you going to be fitting in?
Well, I think I've been away for so long that they just got used to having me away.
Uh-huh.
So I'm out on the tractor, and that's where I belong. As a satellite, rotating around the farm. And I really enjoy it out there. I always have.
Well, folks, I really appreciate you taking time today and talking about your farming operation. Good to see the kids back in the farming operation as well. So thank you again. And folks at home, thanks for being with us on That's My Farm. And don't forget, next Friday, watch That's My Farm. See you later.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.